In this lesson, we'll be adding our settings UI to our game. To begin, we're going to open up our settings element class, and we are going to create two new variables for our tabs. And then we are going to get a reference to the graphics tab by querying for a button with the graphics tab name. And then we are going to do the same thing for our audio tab. Now, when our graphics tab is clicked, we are going to want to execute a function. We are going to call it onClickGraphics tab, and then within here we are going to set the display of our visual settings to flex, and we are going to ensure that our audio display settings are set to none. And because we don't want to be able to click the tab multiple times when it's active, we are going to set the enabled property on our graphics tab to false, and then the enabled property on our audio tab to true. Now we're going to repeat the process for audio tab, doing the exact opposite. So we're just going to take this block of code, and instead of setting the display style of our visual settings to flex, we'll set it to none, and we will disable our audio tab. Now we're just going to call onClickGraphics tab in our constructor because we want the graphics tab to be shown by default. Now in our pause menu UI, we are going to query for our close button. And when it's clicked, we are going to call resume. Now we're going to query for the settings button. And when it's clicked, we are going to open our settings. And so we're going to need to create a variable to store a reference to our settings element. We're going to call it settings. And so we can query for that by type. And then we are going to set its display style to flex. Then we are going to query for our close settings button on our settings element. And when it's clicked, we are going to execute a function called close settings. And the close settings function is going to do the opposite. So it's going to set the display style to none. Now in our pause menu, we're going to add our settings element. And we're going to set the position to absolute and all of the position values to 0 so that it covers the entire canvas. And then we're going to set display to none by default. Now if we press play, I can start a new game, I can open my pause menu, and then from there I can open up my settings page. We can change values and we can close it using the X. And then in our main menu, we can go ahead and navigate to the audio tab and change our settings.